I guess it's a perfectly natural thing when people are attending a wine tasting, when they're pouring one wine into their glass and they want to taste another and another and another, that they're going to rinse out the glass with water. I personally think that's a bad idea, and the day I learnt that was a bad idea, I was sitting in Chateau Bonnet in Bordeaux, and before we started a wine tasting, I couldn't quite believe this, but the proprietor came up, and before we were even allowed to put wine that we were going to taste into our clean wine glass, he poured some white wine in, rinsed it all the way around the inside of the glass, and then tipped out the wine. And I asked him what on earth was going on. And he said, no, I'm winding up the glass. I'm getting the glass ready for wine. I thought, that's an interesting idea. So in other words, you're getting rid of any potential glassy or lint-like smell out of the glass. It's ready, it's got a wine-like smell, but once you tip it out, it's not a dominant smell, especially if you use a white wine. So let's get back to our tasting. So let's imagine we're doing this in order, and we're thinking we'll start with lighter, drier white wines, moving to fuller white wines, then maybe lighter reds, fuller reds. Each time we're increasing the density and the weight and the impact of the wine in the glass. Once you've tasted, say, a Riesling or something, don't rinse out the glass before you tip in a Chardonnay. Don't rinse it out with water, that is. If you want to rinse it out with a tiny amount of the wine that you're about to re-pour in and have a taste with. That way, you're always keeping the glass wined up. And I've also found that since I've been alert to that, once someone does rinse out a glass with water for me, someone just does that thinking they're doing the right thing and being kind, I go back and think, that wine's not quite as intense. It just lacks that real focus and tightness that it would have been had that same glass just been rinsed out with wine instead.